What's up, guys? This is Bobby at East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep. We've got our first guest, Brian Rogers, for our podcast, East Carolina Rides. Taylor's running a little behind. He'll maybe scoot in here in just a few minutes. But Brian, thank you for coming today, man.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for inviting me on, man.
Yeah, I'm glad we could start to add this dynamic because, me and Taylor have a different sort of perspective on the car business, and you've been in the business a really long time. What, 25 years? Or
26,
Wow.
October, May 26.
Awesome. Well, obviously the business has changed a lot in the time that you've been in the business. I started back in 2000 and really 13, maybe 14, because I was in buy here, pay here, which isn't anywhere near like selling at a franchise dealership.
No, a little bit of a different style.
Yeah.
How much money do you have? Here's what you're getting.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Buy here, pay here is like, we talk about it a lot. Like when you go to CarMax, it's so much like being a clerk rather than a salesperson. You just sort of transactional. But I love this business, and you're a big part of it. I'll be honest with you. You're a good teacher and mentor for me. And so it really is. I know you said it was your honor to be on the podcast, but man, it really is my honor. So appreciate you being here. Taylor, I'm sure, is going to have some things he's going to want to say, but we're just going to kind of kick it off. And we got limited time because you got a manager's meeting and
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, got a little bit of a late jump, but we'll get this in, and we're going to have a great day today.
Awesome. Yeah, it's Friday. These podcasts have been airing on Friday, and it's always sort of a build up to a busy day where we want to have a strong weekend every weekend. We want to paint the page. You want to tell folks about what that means?
Painting the page, I guess that came up about 15 years ago, or actually right as I stepped into the floor manager role about 13 years ago. Mm-hmm. Our page is listed of 10 car sale lines. Mm-hmm. And you can go above painting the page. Nothing stops you from selling 10. But whenever we sell 10, that means every single line is filled with a salesperson, a customer who purchased the car, the type of car they purchased, the trade-in that they traded in. So whenever every blank's filled on the page, that's called painting the page.
Nice. It kind of reminds me of the team aspect of football and all that sort of thing. When we painted purple, I always kind of thought it had something to do with that for some reason. We're both ECU alumni, so we kind of got a little bit of football season. I don't know what you call it. We had a great season.
Yeah, we wore purple on Saturday.
Yeah.
For that reason, because it's our team color.
Right.
And so with a team aspect and everything, you try to, like our red shirts for today.
Yeah.
So try to dress like a team. It makes us perform better. It puts our mindset right, just to be successful.
Well,
the little stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's look, being real. The team aspect is like my favorite thing. I think it's not always the case in the car business.
Now, that's the biggest thing that's changed.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, it was cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
I walked into the store in 1999. Didn't know anything about the car business, as green as you could get. Mm-hmm. Absolutely no training whatsoever. You had to really just do it yourself. And that was helpful to a degree, but some training could have gone a long way as well. So.
Yeah.
But it was really cutthroat back in the day. There was no CRM to be able to manage appointments. You had to cultivate your customers and get them to ask for you. You had to make sure they asked for you, because if they didn't ask for you, you were getting snaked.
Yeah.
Snake bit.
Still a possibility nowadays, but it's a whole lot harder with the CRM. I mean, that's definitely a big change. And when I started, the CRM was already in place, so I imagine that was a pretty big deal when they started introducing that when you're in the business.
Big difference. I mean, be honest with you, whenever I was so used to doing everything by hand, and by that time, whenever they came in with the CRM, I had already built and cultivated my business.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, all my customer base was put into the CRM along with everybody else's customer base, and they were attached to your name. So, just took it up from there. But really, as a salesperson, going from everything handwritten to a CRM it was a big adjustment. Sometimes I would want to use the CRM, sometimes I wouldn't.
Right.
But like with anything, if you want to cultivate your customers and everything, you have to do one.
Right.
And the CRM is definitely a lot easier.
Yeah. I remember you telling me, or telling the team, in meetings about the old paper log. And welcome, Taylor. Good morning. So we kind of got started because Brian's got the meeting, but Taylor, we've been kind of catching up with how things used to be, and now in the CRM days, how much harder it is to snake somebody. If the salesman's doing the right thing, looking up the phone number.
I was about to say, these guys, they figure out a way to
beat the system.
yeah, some of them will figure a way out.
Yeah. But yeah, we wanted to kind of follow a little bit of the guidelines I had printed out for us. But man, I think it's always been fun the way we've been spitballing, and we kind of go off on tangents a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, an outline's a suggestion in a podcast, as far as I'm concerned.
That's right. Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna be like, no, guys, this is not the time to be talking about this. But but I think Brian brings a perspective between me and Taylor. That's a whole lot different, being a manager, and so I was thinking maybe his perspective. What was some of the things that we had just been talking about, what had been changing in the industry. But between me and Taylor, which one's your favorite? No, I'm just joking.
Both of you guys are polar opposites. Polar opposites.
Like asking your parent, which one?
I love you both the same.
Yeah, we definitely have different approaches to the business. And look, Taylor's been salesperson of the month 2 months in a row. I'm starting to lose my traction a little bit of being the favorite. But he is in school and also is knocking it out of the park as far as sales. I think that's something with our team that is different than other car dealerships, is the flexibility you offer too, Brian. So appreciate that.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Look, I mean, there comes a certain time where whenever you spend 6, 7, and first of all, I don't consider somebody a veteran on the sales floor until they've been on the sales floor for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me. I mean, anywhere between 2 to 5 years and everything, they're no longer a green pea. Mm-hmm. Anything less than a year, they're definitely a green pea. And any year 1 to 2, it's are you going to make it a career, or is it still a job? That's where usually you're going to find your career people is after year 2. So, but whenever you spend 6, 7 years, 8 years on the sales floor at the same place, there's got to be some sort of give and take, right?
Right.
It's a commission-based job. If you put the numbers on the board and everything, so he came to me and he asked me about going to school, just taking a few hours every semester and everything. He was putting up good numbers. If your numbers don't get affected by it, I know your time's going to be affected by it, your personal life's going to be affected by it, but if your numbers aren't affected by it, who am I to say, hey, he's put in good 8, 9 years doing this? Right. Who am I to say, no, you can't do it. Mm-hmm. You can do it, but don't let your numbers drop.
Yeah, that's ultimately what we're here for, is to make some money. We got to be able to make money to keep the lights on and to be able to do fun things like this on the side. This probably won't make us any extra money, but I think it's a fun thing to be able to get out there and show people who we are. I think we're kind of like behind a shield sometimes.
Well, after watching the first 4 episodes, I see it as laid back. I see it as real talk. You give the sales point of view to customers, prospective customers, mm-hmm. And also new aspiring salespeople as well. And it's just real talk. I mean, you're not trying to sell a car. We're not trying to sell a car right now. I do have $20,000 off on a Ram, but I'm not trying to sell a car right now.
If anybody needs a cabin chassis 3500 single wheelbase,
that's
please
right.
Call somebody at East Carolina Crash and
I'll be Taylor or Brian.
Be great for a service body work truck.
Yeah, be great.
Yeah. Well, I think it's of course every day we're talking about deals. We're out in the field and in the public we're always selling a car, and I think that's something that, even now, we are kind of selling the car, if not ourselves, in the sales business. That's part of it, is people got to kind of like us a little bit to buy a car from us.
That's what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I was thinking. Was like you're not necessarily selling a car when you're outside of here. You're selling yourself, and you know.
well, your helpfulness,
Yeah.
and how you gain rapport with somebody and develop a certain trust, because there's got to be a trust both ways. Got to be a trust for the customer and a trust for the salesperson. If none of that happens, then a deal's never going to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's kind of one of the points on this little outline. I think it's kind of an interesting thing to have this with you in here. But, because we, a lot of times, are bringing you the deal. We're being customer advocates. We want to, sometimes we kind of need the customer to win a little bit in order for them to feel good to be able to do the deal. And so sometimes I think you probably are dealing with us working you more than us working the customers. But I guess what's the behind the scenes, and I know you can only get into but so much because it has to do with us kind of retaining profit. That's why we're in business. But when we bring you a deal, when we bring you an offer, what kind of goes through your mind? What's the thought process of stitching that deal together?
Well, in my mind, the first thing that goes through my mind is there a deal here? Okay, so what do I mean by that? I mean, it's different if you're bringing me a deal on a pre-owned car that I've got 5 active internet leads on. We've only had the car for 2 weeks, and I've got an appointment on Saturday, tomorrow, on it, and today's Friday. There's just so much negotiation point you're going to be able to get from me, because I've got to give the car a chance to sell for what it's listed online for.
Yeah.
And if I've got multiple leads and another appointment on the car, so I look up the stock number. I look up the stock number and see what kind of activity I have on that car. And if you're bringing me a deal and a customer's making an offer of $2,000 less than our market-based price, probably not going to get that, Bobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to see if there's a deal there. Will I come off of a 14-day-old car? Yes, but the customer's going to have to understand, look, this is a hot piece for us. We just got it in, and this is stuff that I rely on you guys to kind of cultivate and tell them.
Right. No, that's a great point, and I think, especially for somebody that's new, they maybe don't get that. They take a deal up, and they see somebody getting an offer right beside them. They take a customer's offer, and the guys at the desk are like, "All right, we'll do it. Go get the money," or whatever. And then they come up with a deal, and they're like, "Nah, we're not going to take that deal." And they may not know, what kind of the underlying things are.
Same scenario. We've had a car for 80 days. I look up the stock number. We haven't cracked the door open on it, and Ed's probably already marked that car down to a minimal profit anyway. But customer makes a offer, and I haven't cracked the door open on that car in a couple of weeks. We're probably going to make a deal happen.
Right.
So it really depends. And that's new, and that's used, and there's different factors that goes with new as well. But a lot of it has to determine timing and the car itself. Timing and the car itself. It's not it's just business, really.
Right. That makes sense. I know, Taylor, you were, I can't remember what the deal was, but I remember just recently you were working a deal. Somebody had put a deposit on something, and we're dealing with like deposits and stuff like that. What was your feeling on deposits versus somebody doing a deal like right away?
Are you saying like when I take a deposit, or?
Yeah, like how do you feel about deposits, I guess?
I don't feel all that comfortable taking a deposit, I'll be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Like if I get a customer that tells me, hey, let me put a deposit down and so I can hold it until such and such a date.
Right.
My response is, all right, I need you to understand, before you put this money down, you ain't getting it back.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Make it
this
clear.
money is not going back in your
Yeah,
pocket.
we're calling it like not even a deposit. It's a prepayment.
Prepayment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so it's a partial payment. Yeah.
Partial payment. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it.
So, I mean, I let them know immediately, and I want them to understand. I want it to be very clear in their heads, like, hey, you ain't getting the money back.
Right.
With some contingencies,
Yeah.
obviously. Like, there's going to be, like, if we're doing this over the phone and you're 500 miles away and you can't get here, then my
There's certain
response is
exceptions. Yeah.
$500 down deposit. You're not getting it back unless there's a situation with the trade or something,
Right.
like that. And
They
haven't
bring it
seen
in
a
and
trade.
it's falling apart. Rust bucket. We're only giving them
Right.
$3,000 instead of
Yeah.
$6,000.
Instead of
If we can't do what we said we were going to do,
Right.
then we'll back
that's
into the deal.
that's
But I want them to understand and be clear. Like I don't like I don't even get paid off of the money.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not like we keep the
but I
money
take it
ourselves.
personal. Like, it's a personal thing for me. Like, whenever I have to take their money and then they want it back and they're like, "Nah, I just don't want the car. I'm gonna go ahead and take my $500 back." Like, I get upset. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Nah, man."
I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
Yeah, like, I don't know why. It's just it's
Well, it
a
makes sense why you
business
wouldn't want to, necessarily go that route. And
Yeah.
I know Brian's got a whole different perspective on deposits. It's tricky. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to get the deal done too, so I can be out the door and then gone
yeah.
and I hand them the keys.
well, the reason why you have a non-refundable deposit or a partial payment, as we like to say, is so many times the customer will see a vehicle that they like. They will put money down on it and a deposit. And if they think it's refundable, customers will go out and shop to see if there's anything else out there better.
Right.
If they do find a piece that suits them better, that's all well and good. Okay. But now I've had my vehicle off the showroom floor. I've had my vehicle offline. I've completely taken that vehicle off the market. Somebody calls in. Hey, no, we got a deposit on that vehicle. Okay, I'll look elsewhere. So we've taken that vehicle completely off the market for that customer, and now we've passed on other people. There's got to be something to be able to tie the customer that's buying that vehicle to that particular vehicle.
Right.
That's pretty much the case.
Yeah, they got to have some skin in the game. If they were to suddenly say, "Nah, never mind."
If I took deposits on folks that just wanted me to hold cars, I'd have a fence full of cars back there. I wouldn't have anything up front. Everything be sitting back there with fake money on it.
Right.
Yeah. As Brian likes to say, hold their feet to the fire.
That's right. Well,
In some sort, yeah, you got to.
And that's something I think that people look at us as salespeople and think we've got this sort of like pushing mentality that we got to pressure them into a sale. But there's a sense of urgency for a reason. There's a lot of times one of one, when it comes to our used cars and even our new cars, like select VIN inventory, we've got certain deals that we can't replicate.
Yeah.
And so if you don't buy it now, you could miss out on a deal or the vehicle that you really love.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it really is like a pressure thing. Like, it is a sense of, like, there is urgency for you to go ahead and get it. And I don't think people understand that. They just think we're using it as a tactic, a sales tactic.
To a certain degree, you guys on the sales floor have to apply some pressure. It just has to happen. Because, Taylor, if you don't sell anything today, you've made absolutely nothing today.
$0.
Not a dollar. So think about that. If you're a consumer out here listening to this, car salespeople are pushy. Car salespeople are, they're going to call you at all times of the day and all this and that. They're trying to sell you a car to feed their family. And that's pretty much the case. So there's got to be a little bit of pushiness in the car business without being rude. You do things the right way. You just want to sell them a car that they're going to enjoy for years to come and make an impact on their life. And also try to keep that customer a customer for life.
Right.
And so there's a lot that goes into it. So yeah, I get, a lot of the biggest stigmatism that I see that salespeople has carried on. One of the biggest differences is uh, uh, trustworthiness, right? So we have the thought out there that salespeople aren't trustworthy. Well, back in the 80s and 90s, I could probably say from the characters I met when I first started, I can probably tell you it might be true.
From the stories that y'all
but that stereotype really needs to be kind of tampered down now in the 2020s,
Right.
even in the 20 teens. Everybody out here is a good person. They're trying to support themselves, their families, and really do things the right way, right by the customer. So I will say that the stereotype of the salesperson being underhanded, they'll lie to you just to make a sale, that needs to be quashed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's very difficult with social media now too. You lie to somebody enough, they're gonna blow your spot up.
Exactly. So we have a different social metric now with social media. But the one thing I will say, and I'll never deviate from this, is that I've met a lot of aggressive and pushy, successful salespeople, and I have met a lot of non-aggressive, non-pushy, non-successful salespeople. Right?
Right.
So it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Whatever you put in is what you're going to get out of this business. And so, yes, pushy stereotype, probably that's a check mark. Yeah,
Right.
I would probably say so. But untrustworthy like it was back in the 80s and 90s, no, it's not that way anymore. Whenever you come out and you meet a sales professional, they are here to help you, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah. Well.
And maintain a fair profit if you can.
Right.
Yeah,
it can be a win-win. And I guess we'll have a short little segment here, consumer tips, because we're talking about the consumer a little bit, and maybe, I don't know, what we think are tips for them, maybe not, but the things that come into your play a lot of times is like trade value. And I think a lot of people maybe have a misconception. They look online, they see KBB, maybe they're not clicking the right boxes, I don't know. But when it comes to trade value, what would you say for a consumer is some tips to help them get the most for their trade, or at least coming in?
KBB is a good consumer. It's a good consumer source.
Sure.
You have to make sure to take your click off of retail, okay, and put your click on trade-in, and don't click excellent. That's a misnomer. There's only like 1% of the cars are actually excellent.
Right.
If your tires are good on your trade, you got decent miles on it, the exterior's in good condition, the interior's in good condition, everything good, you need to click very good at the very maximum. Probably good, because that's where about 54% of the cars are rated at. And kind of be realistic with yourself.
Right.
I see a lot of customers, they do go to Kelley Blue Book. They look up retail very good, right? and they come out to the lot with a unreasonable expectation for their trade. But most of the people now are a lot more educated about how the process works. And it makes our job easier and harder at the same time.
Yeah.
So, you as a sales consultant nowadays, you best know your product, because if you don't know your product and the customer knows more than you, how hard is it for them to say, I know more about the car than this guy? Do I really trust this guy to buy my car from?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
We had a guy one time come in and had he looked up KBB and was so flabbergasted. Like, he got mad and left the dealership because of how low we were compared. It was like tens of thousands of dollars difference. Whoa. And they come to find out he had I think he had 130,000 miles on his car.
Yeah.
And he forgot that last digit. So it was like 13,000 miles on it. So yeah. Yeah. He ended up
If you're going to use a tool, use it correctly.
Use it correctly, yeah. He ended up coming back and buying. He was like, all right, I'll concede.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that was so funny.
and sometimes that's part of our job as salespeople is just kind of being that middle ground. Bringing the levity that's saying, hey, because we at that point we built a little bit of a relationship. If we're at trade value, by that time we've had a chance to talk to them, build a little bit of foundation of who each of us are, and by then hopefully they trust us a little bit. Some people, I don't know, they might be walking out the door and still don't trust you, but they've made a deal.
And they trusted you. If they made a deal with you, they trust.
Yeah. They may feign that mistrust, but it's such a fun business, and I'm so glad that we were able to get us all together. I know you got your meeting this morning.
Yep.
So that's coming up soon.
Big weekend.
And we I know have some good deals going on. Before we go, maybe we should talk about some of that stuff. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. To just hit some of the highlights of the deals going on. We talked about the $20,000 off on cabin chassis, but we got 3 2024 model cabin chassis left. They just haven't moved. Yeah, they're leftover of leftovers. So we're gonna be moving into 26 soon. However, these vehicles are all brand new, crazy discounts, extreme deep dark losses for the dealership. No big deal. 3 vehicles. I've got 400 more out here. So, but whoever gets these vehicles are going to be very, very pleased with their purchase. And these trucks are here to make your company money. Other things is a lot of 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokees. We have limiteds that if you get the right one with the select VIN inventory cash, $10,000 off, $11,000 off on a Jeep Grand Cherokee. There is a limited out here that's silver in color. It's a limited 4-wheel drive with the trailer tow package. It's stickers for $48,000, and I priced that vehicle out yesterday for $40,000 for a 4-wheel drive limited. Wow. I mean, these vehicles are selling. That's Laredo price. That's a Laredo price from just a few months ago.
Yeah. So the deals are hot. The Black Friday sales are is no joke. I mean, they have the big rebates on. I just lowered all of our 2026s to factory invoice less rebate. So I just did that for the Black Friday sales event. I'll keep it running until December 1st on our 26s to try to pump up the new volume a little bit. And you never know. I may keep it the same in December. I may take it back to MSRP. I don't know yet. We'll figure out how.
And that starts now, right? Like that's not next week when it starts. It's
Wednesday when I left. I had yesterday off. So Wednesday when I left, I changed the prices to, so as of yesterday.
Well, y'all heard it here. Black Friday
late.
starts now.
It
It starts yesterday. Well, that's great, man. And we got the holiday weekend coming up next week. I don't know if you guys have any plans or anything, but I'm looking forward to the food.
always looking forward to the food.
I love Thanksgiving, grandchildren, smoked turkey. Thanksgiving is one of them days where everybody has the same day off. You wake up, you come out here on Black Friday, and people start getting out usually mid morning, and usually going to go get their coffee and let's browse the car lot, honey.
That's right.
And next thing you know, they're meeting Taylor over here, and Taylor's like, "You gotta buy today."
Maybe Brian will bring us some of that smoked turkey this year. He won't forget it for us.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Depends on how good it is. Totally good.
Well, that's a good point. Though we are closed Thursday, and next week's podcast, I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll be back again, and hopefully we'll have Brian again as a guest. We're going to try to get things mixed up and have some people coming in, but.
But this is a great honor to be the very first guest.
Yeah,
that's a great honor. I was stoked when I woke up this morning. I was like, yeah,
rock and roll. I love it. Look, well, we gotta get to business, y'all. So thanks for watching. Again, it's East Carolina Brides. Relationships, integrity, discipline, and excellence is what we maintain here. It's our core values. And thanks again, y'all.
Thank you guys.
Y'all have
Thank
a good
you.
one.